Hey, Jesus Castillo here from Ruby Guides, and in this video you're going to learn about Bootstrap. What's Bootstrap? Well, it's a CSS framework that will allow you to very quickly and with very little effort make your page, your website built in Rails look professional and very nicely with almost no CSS, actual CSS writing, because Bootstrap does most of the work for you. So let's see how this works. And by the way, if you like these videos, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Okay, so to install Bootstrap or any other CSS file or JavaScript file into your Rails project, you have different options, right? Every option has pros and cons, right? Like every other thing you can do. So the option I like and I find the easiest to do and the quickest is to use the CDN, okay? So it's this link that you have right here, so CSS only. The only thing you have to do is you copy this link. Make sure you copy the whole thing, right? Then you copy it, you copy the link, and then we come to our application layout file, okay? So where do you find this? Well, inside your app directory, then you go to views, then layout, then application, okay? So that's your layers file, and in this file we're going to paste our link. Just kind of long, but that's fine, and make sure that you save the file, okay? Now this file is where we have our layout or general layout for our page, and this is where things like your page title goes and your CSS, your JavaScript, right? It's like your menus, your footer. So the layout for your page goes in here, okay? So now that I paste this link, we already have Bootstrap, and you will see things happening. So I'm going to reload this page, right? And watch. Well, not much have changed yet, as you see, but a few things change. For example, when I hover these links, this doesn't look very nice, but Bootstrap is supposed to make this nice. Well, the thing here is that I have my scaffold file. So if I go to assets, style sheets, I have this, let me make this bigger for you, Scaffold CSS. What's this? Well, this created by Rails when you use the scaffolds command, like Rails generate a scaffold. I have another video on that. I have an article on the website to explain scaffolds, and one of the things scaffolding does for you is to create this file. So this very basic CSS that is given to you, and right now is conflicting with Bootstrap CSS. So if you decide to use Bootstrap, my recommendation here is to come, delete, and remove that scaffold CSS if you have it, okay? Now if I come here, and then we have this error because I'm requiring the scaffold file explicitly. So to fix that, I'm going to go to this file, style sheets, application CSS, and just remove this line, okay? So that should fix that error. And now we have something different, right? Now the links look by default, everything is by default. But how do we use Bootstrap? Well, it's enabled, but we need to use it. We use it with CSS classes. So for example, the first thing I want to do is go to my body, right? So the body is pretty much all of the content in your page, right? And I'm going to add a class. So the class I'm going to add is a container fluid. And that's what the name says, it's a container, and fluid is for responsive design. Okay, so that means when I resize my site, it's going to adapt to the size of the browser. Okay, so now we have that, and the next thing I want to do is make these links some nicer. So that's very easy. I can go to my index page, I find the link, and then I add a class. So everything goes with classes. And these classes, don't get confused, this doesn't have anything to do with Ruby classes in object-oriented programming. This is different, right? It's CSS classes. And CSS classes are used to define a set of style attributes like color, size, position, right? So that's CSS classes and attributes. Now, that's what Bootstrap does for you. It gives you this pre-built set of CSS attributes. So we can make this look nice with BTN, which stands for button, and then we need to choose one of the button styles. So we can use primary, right? And primary, now you see this looks a lot nicer, right? Primary, what that means is the primary color. So there is primary, secondary, right? How do I know this? And where you can find all of the different options that Bootstrap gives you. Well, that's what the documentation is for, right? Documentation is for reference. It's not really for learning. But when you know what you're looking for, the documentation is very nice, because in here I can look for components, and here we have the different examples and the different components that you get with Bootstrap. For example, buttons, here's primary, secondary, success, danger, warning, info, light, dark, link, right? And here are the examples. So this is the primary, which is what I used right here. So let's try with, for example, the info one for our new cut button. And again, we find the text, the link, and we add a class, btn info, and there we go, right? So a few other things you get with Bootstrap is you have layout tools and classes, again CSS classes, right? So I really like this because we can, for example, in here you can see that this button there is no space below it, right? So we can add some space with another class, and that's going to be MarginBottom, right? MB means MarginBottom, and then a number from 1 to 5. And the number means the higher the number, the more margin you get. And if I reload, now we get a little bit of margin below the button. I don't think you can see that on the screen right now. But you can also do, so you can see this, we can do it on the, how about on the title, below the title. Let me show you that. So we add our class, MarginBottom free, and look here. Now we have a little bit of space. If you want more space, you can do MarginBottom 5. Okay, and there is more space. Okay, below the title. So that's MarginBottom. Is one of the tools, layout tools and spacing tools that Bootstrap gives to you. So this is what I mean by almost no effort to get a good looking website. Now let's take a look at this table. So the buttons look kind of cool and nice, right? But the table, everything is kind of bunched together, and we don't want, even in your code or in design in general, to make things more readable, we don't want things bunched up together. We want them spaced We want some space between our things, right? I'm not a designer, but I know that much, that we want some spacing to make things look nice. So how can we do that? Well, again, we go to documentation. I know that we want to look for tables. And if I type table in this search option, I see options for tables. So I'm going to go table. And right here I see a nice looking table. How is this happening? Well, it says just add the base class to any table. And in here we can look at the example. Looks easy enough. So let's do that. Class table. That's it. Very easy, right? Let me just do that. Close that. Okay, so if I reload here, look at this table. See what happens when I reload. Ta-da! Wow, that looks very nice now, right? So we have a better looking table. We can make it like this if we want. Oh, very easy change. Table dark. And then you can choose, oh, okay. Oh, notice it's table and then table dark, right? So it's in addition to. Okay, let me come here. And there we go. Okay, so you choose whatever goes well with your overall website and the idea that you have for your website. Okay, so that's tables, and you can scroll down and look at the different options. You can color the table header, as you can see here, right? So that's very nice as well. If you want to do this, you can give that a try, see what that looks like. And here, this experiment. Oh, this looks really good. I like this, right? Also, what about the width of the table? If I don't want it to be that big? I don't want it to take the whole page, right? Well, you can just do your put all width like this, right? Your style width, and then you choose the width. Usually recommended to do a percentage, because that's better for, at least I understand this. Oops, let me find the percentage sign. Yes, there we go. I understand using a percentage is better for responsive design, and that gives us an even better looking table. I really like this. As you can see, we started with a very ugly looking page, and really just with 5 minutes of almost no work, we have a very nice looking table. That's why I really like Bootstrap. You can experiment with this. Instead of style, you could use so style. This style is not part of Bootstrap. This part of base CSS. But with Bootstrap, you have something called columns, and you can do column and let's look at the documentation for columns. Column alignment. You can look at columns here. Let's see. Cool. Oh, there is this. This W50. We make it 50% size. Oh, hold on. I remove table. So there we go. Right? So you don't have to say style with 50%. W50 is the same thing. So that's another way to do it. And you have many options for layouts. So I'm not going to cover everything, because it will be like a 10-hour or 5-hour video. I don't know, but it will be very long to cover all of the options. So what I recommend, once you know what element, so work element by element that you want to give some style to, and just look up the element name here. So if you're looking with a form, look for form. You have custom forms, form controls, disable forms, right? And if you're working with buttons, search for buttons. If you're looking with a table, search for table. And there is styles for most things, right? For most elements. And you can experiment with the different options and use whichever you like the most. Okay, so that's my quick introduction for Bootstrap. I hope you like it and give this a try, because it really is really helpful. You need very fancy themes or anything. You can just use Bootstrap, and very quickly, as you've seen in this video, you can get a nice looking site. Okay, so if you like this video, make sure to click the like button for me so I know that you like it, and so more people can find this video. Okay, so if the video has a lot of likes, I believe more people, YouTube shows the video to more people. Also, if you want to learn more, watch some of the over 200 Ruby videos on this Ruby channel. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos like this. And also visit my website. It's rubyguides.com. Okay, rubyguides.com. Here you will find the newsletter, which you can subscribe to. You will receive lots of good content. Okay, I will send you a lot of useful Ruby tips and articles and all kinds of useful information for you if you are trying to become a professional Ruby developer. And here you will also find my Ruby book, which does two things. One, it helps you learn more Ruby, right? Learn Ruby properly. You first have to understand the very basics of programming before getting this book. So make sure you understand what's a loop or what's an if statement. Just understand these basic principles, and then you can get this book to start learning Ruby properly and more deeply than most people. And the second thing it does is, of course, it supports my work in the website and in YouTube, because that's everything I do is work on this content for you. Okay, so that's it. Visit the website rubyguides.com and enjoy it and learn, okay, and practice. So yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video.